Have you ever wondered what happens when someone lets their wealth and status cloud their judgment, forgetting the simple power of kindness? If you believe that everyone deserves respect, no matter their job or background, hit that like button right now and get ready for a story that might just change the way you see the world. And don't forget to subscribe for more stories that inspire and challenge us to be better every day. It was a bright Saturday afternoon in the heart of the city, and the elegant glass doors of the Willow Room swung open to welcome a new wave of guests. The Willow Room was the kind of place where the napkins were folded like origami, the chandeliers sparkled like diamonds, and the waitstaff moved with the quiet grace of ballet dancers. It was a favorite among the city's elite, a place where deals were made, anniversaries celebrated, and secrets whispered over candlelight. Among the guests that day was Victoria Langley, a woman whose name was synonymous with old money and new ambition. Victoria was the kind of person who never waited in line, who always had the best table, and who believed that the world should bend to her will. She swept into the restaurant with her two closest friends, both equally well-dressed and eager to bask in her reflected glow. The maitre d' greeted her with a practiced smile, but Victoria barely acknowledged him, her eyes already scanning the room for familiar faces and potential gossip. As they were led to their table by the window, Victoria made a show of inspecting the silverware, running a manicured finger along the edge of her glass and sighing dramatically. "I do hope the service is better than last time," she said loudly enough for nearby tables to hear. "You'd think with these prices, they could at least hire competent staff." Her friends exchanged nervous glances, but Victoria was already waving over the waitress, a young woman with kind eyes and a gentle smile. "Good afternoon, ladies," the waitress said warmly. "My name is Emily, and I'll be taking care of you today. Can I start you off with something to drink?" Victoria, still focused on her phone, replied without looking up, "We'll have a bottle of your best champagne, please. And make sure it's well chilled." Emily nodded, jotting down the order with practiced efficiency. "Of course, ma'am. I'll be right back with your drinks." As Emily walked away, Victoria leaned into her friends and quietly remarked, "I hope the service is better this time. Last time, things weren't quite up to standard." Her friends offered polite smiles, though the conversation felt a bit tense. Throughout the meal, Victoria made several comments about the food, noting that the bread was a little too crusty for her taste or that she preferred the butter firmer. Each time, Emily responded with patience and professionalism, offering to bring alternatives or make adjustments. Victoria remained particular about the details, but her tone stayed composed and formal. At one point, Victoria signaled for Emily's attention and said, "Excuse me, I asked for the dressing on the side. Would it be possible to have it that way?" Emily apologized and assured her she would take care of it right away. As Emily walked away, Victoria quietly commented, "I just like things a certain way, that's all." The meal dragged on, each course providing Victoria with new ammunition for her complaints. Her friends grew increasingly uncomfortable, but Victoria was oblivious, lost in her own sense of superiority. When the check finally arrived, Victoria examined it with a critical eye, searching for any excuse to argue. $380 for this? Outrageous. And the service was abysmal. She pulled a crumpled $5 bill from her designer wallet and tossed it onto the table. "That's more than she deserves," she said, standing up and smoothing her dress. Her friends hesitated, but followed her lead, eager to escape the tension. As they made their way toward the exit, a man in a tailored suit approached them. He was tall, with an easy confidence and a kind smile. "Excuse me, ladies," he said, addressing Victoria directly. "I hope you enjoyed your meal." Victoria looked him up and down, assuming he was the manager. "If you call that enjoying, I suppose." The service was terrible. That waitress, Emily, was it, completely ruined our experience. "I expect better from a place like this." The man nodded thoughtfully. "I'm sorry to hear that. Emily is one of our best. She's been with us for several years, and we've always received glowing feedback about her service. Victoria scoffed. Well, maybe your standards are as low as hers. The man smiled, but there was a glint in his eye. Actually, I'm the owner of the Willow Room. My name is Daniel Carter. And Emily is not just one of our best employees, she's also my sister. Victoria's face paled, but Daniel continued, his voice calm but firm. Emily is working here while finishing her degree in social work. She volunteers at the local shelter, helps tutor underprivileged kids, and still manages to be the most reliable member of our team. She treats every guest with respect, no matter how they treat her in return. Victoria opened her mouth to respond, but Daniel held up a hand. I understand that not every experience is perfect, and we always strive to do better. But I also believe that kindness is a two-way street. The way we treat others, especially those in service roles, says more about us than it does about them. There was a long, uncomfortable silence. Victoria's friends shifted awkwardly, unsure of what to say. Daniel looked at the $5 bill on the table and picked it up. I'll make sure this goes to our staff appreciation fund. And I'll be adding $1,000 in your name, Victoria, to support continuing education for our team. Maybe next time, you'll remember that everyone has a story and everyone deserves respect. Victoria's cheeks flushed with embarrassment, but she managed a tight smile. Well, I suppose that's very generous of you. Daniel nodded. Generosity is easy when you remember where you came from. As Victoria and her friends left the restaurant, the mood had shifted. Her friends were quiet, lost in thought, while Victoria stared straight ahead, her confidence shaken. For the first time in a long time, she wondered if maybe, just maybe, she had been wrong. Back inside, Emily was clearing the table, her movements efficient but tired. Daniel approached her, placing a reassuring hand on her shoulder. You handled that with grace, he said softly. Emily smiled, though her eyes were weary. It's not always easy, but I try to remember that people act out for all kinds of reasons. Maybe she's having a bad day, or maybe she's never been shown kindness herself. Daniel nodded. You're stronger than you know, and you make this place better every single day. As the evening wore on, the restaurant filled with laughter and conversation. Emily continued her shift, serving guests with the same warmth and professionalism as always. But something had changed. Word of the encounter spread among the staff, and there was a renewed sense of camaraderie, a reminder that they were valued and respected. Meanwhile, Victoria's evening took an unexpected turn. As she arrived home, she found herself replaying the events of the day in her mind. The look in Daniel's eyes, the quiet dignity of Emily's response, the uncomfortable silence from her friends, it all weighed on her. For the first time, she questioned the way she treated those around her, the assumptions she made, the words she chose. That night, Victoria couldn't sleep. She tossed and turned, haunted by the realization that her actions had consequences, that her words could wound as surely as a knife. She thought about Emily, working long hours to pay for school, volunteering her time to help others, facing each day with courage and kindness. She thought about Daniel, who had built a business not just on fine dining, but on respect and compassion. The next morning, Victoria made a decision. She returned to the Willow Room, her heart pounding with nerves. The staff recognized her immediately, but this time, there was no arrogance in her step, no disdain in her eyes. She asked to speak with Emily, who appeared a few minutes later, surprised but composed. I wanted to apologize, Victoria said, her voice trembling. The way I treated you yesterday was unacceptable. I let my own frustrations get the better of me, and I took it out on you. That wasn't fair, and I'm truly sorry. Emily studied her for a moment, then nodded. Thank you. That means a lot. We all have bad days. What matters is what we do next. Victoria smiled, relief flooding her features. I'd like to make it up to you. Is there anything I can do to help with your studies or your work at the shelter? Emily hesitated, then smiled. Actually, we're organizing a fundraiser next month. We could use some help spreading the word. Victoria agreed immediately, promising to use her connections to support the event. Over the next few weeks, she threw herself into the project, reaching out to friends, colleagues, and local businesses. The fundraiser was a huge success, raising more money than anyone had expected. Emily and Daniel were grateful, but it was Victoria who felt the greatest change. For the first time in years, she felt connected to something bigger than herself, something that mattered. The experience transformed her. She became a regular volunteer at the shelter, using her skills and resources to make a difference in the lives of others. Her friends noticed the change, and soon they too began to see the value in kindness, in humility, in treating everyone with respect. And so, the story of a single meal at the Willow Room became the catalyst for a ripple effect of compassion and generosity throughout the community. Emily continued her studies, eventually graduating at the top of her class. Daniel expanded the restaurant, hiring more staff and offering scholarships for those who wanted to pursue their dreams. Victoria found a new sense of purpose, her life richer and more meaningful than she had ever imagined. If this story touched you, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more inspiring stories every week. What would you have done in Victoria's place? Have you ever witnessed or experienced a moment when kindness made all the difference? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We read every single one, and your stories inspire us to keep going. Remember, it costs nothing to be kind, but the impact can last a lifetime. Turn on notifications so you never miss an upload, and join our community of people who believe in the power of empathy, respect, and second chances.